Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Three Pillars of Health webinar. I am Tammy Fogarty. I'm a registered dietitian and licensed nutritionist, and I am so excited that you are here with me today. And so let's, not waste any time and let's get started. And I want to put you back into a time when you were a child and you're sitting at the table trying to figure out your algebra homework. Remember those days where you're just like, oh, this is so frustrating. And I wish somebody would just give me the answer or just tell me how to do it. So maybe you browse over to mom and dad and they look at you and they're like, sorry, kiddo, you got to figure it out for yourself. Well, I attribute it to trying to tackle a new health goal kind of the same way as solving an algebra project, because oftentimes we're looking for the answers to things, but a lot of times we will do much better if we understand how to figure it out for ourselves. And so I want to take a moment and shift from giving answers to providing information that allows you to understand this information. And so we're shifting from giving solutions to fostering knowledge so that you can make informed, sustainable nutrition and lifestyle choices all on your own. So are you ready to dive into this content? Because I'm super ready to give it to you. So let's start with a really simple truth. We all know what to do. I am sure right now you know exactly that you need to eat fruits and vegetables and you need to exercise and you need to get plenty of sleep. We all know what we need to do. And I look at life, especially when it's related to health, as we can sit there with 1,000 puzzle pieces, right? So we're sitting at the table, we have all these puzzle pieces, but we don't have the picture to put the puzzle together. And a lot of times when it comes to dieting, weight loss, getting fit, we have a lot of pieces of the puzzle, but we just don't know how to make everything fit. A lot of times we just don't know where to start. So do we start with healthy eating? Do we start with exercise? Are we supposed to sleep more? Do we supposed to be positive or keep things simple? There are a lot of factors that come into play. And sometimes it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg? What am I supposed to focus on? Is it nutrition or is it working out? Whatever it may be. And so we're going to break down and demystify some of these health barriers that kind of create conflict so that you can put your puzzle pieces together and meet your health and wellness goal. Does that sound good? I hope so, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to incorporate information about goal setting. It's important to understand why we need sleep, why we're making healthy choices, and how do we make movement so irresistible that we want to work out. All right, so I have developed my 3 pillars of health, and it's eat, move, and go, because with each of them, they help you to achieve the other. So, for example, if you're eating healthy and you're moving good, you're going to go. And so, we're going to dive into these 3 pillars of health. But before I do that, I want to give you a little bit of background as to how I came here as a dietitian, because what I recommend today for me as a woman in my late 40s, menopausal, there have been a lot of changes in my life personally, which has made me shift how I recommend nutrition and exercise guidelines to my clients. And that is because throughout each decade of our life, we have different requirements. So, what we needed in our 20s is very different to what we need in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, and so on. And so, with as we evolve and as we get older, we need to make sure that how we're eating and how we're exercising and how much sleep we're getting also evolves with us. So, the 3 pillars of health is really a foundation for people that are 40 and older, that are kind of in that midlife part of our lives. This is, I think it's one of my, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to my 20s. I love this aspect of my life. I love where I am at, but I have learned that I have to do things a little bit differently. And you may have noticed that as well. And right now, there is so much conflicting information on social media. So I am going to give you evidence-based scientific information, but in a way that you can apply it into your life, because this isn't a science class. All right, so my 3 pillars of health. We are going to eat, we're going to move, and we're going to go. And yes, I'm talking about pooping. So let's break down each of these pillars of health. The very first one is eat. And really what I want you to focus on are 3 components. And again, I'm not going to tell you how to eat. I'm not going to tell you how to move. I'm going to give you options that you can incorporate into your lifestyle because you know best what is good for you. I know what's good for me, so I'm going to do what's best for me. So here is what I recommend. So the first thing is a high fiber diet. The next thing is a high protein diet, and you want to make sure we have enough antioxidants from foods that provide these nutrients. So why high fiber and high protein? Well, they make us feel full and they make us feel satisfied, which means it makes you feel content. And doesn't it feel really nice when you're content? Our foods can do the same thing. So when we consume foods with fiber, those are going to be plant-based foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains. These foods, when you eat them, they're going to do something pretty magical in your body in the sense that they help to regulate your blood sugar levels. Let me give you an example of what I mean. So, fiber rich foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, are actually carbohydrates. These are more complex carbohydrates because they do have a lot of fiber and they have nutrients. We also have ultra processed carbohydrates. Those are things like pasta, rice, cookies, cakes, things that we love to eat but are not so good for us. Now, when you are consuming a processed carbohydrate like a pasta, for example, so if you sit there with a bowl of pasta and you're happily eating your pasta, you're going to get a spike in your blood sugar levels. So your blood sugar levels are going to go up and then they're going to come crashing down. And within a couple hours, you're going to be like, okay, I'm hungry again. What's happening with the spikes and the drops is that you're getting a rush of glucose into your bloodstream. So when you eat carbohydrates through digestion, it breaks down into glucose. Glucose is the fuel for our body. We need it, but when we get it from different sources like complex carbohydrates or foods with fiber, it reacts differently in the body when we digest and absorb it. So when we digest foods that contain fiber, such as fruits and berries and nuts and vegetables and whole grains, what happens is that you'll get a rise in blood sugar level and then it levels off and then it'll drop. So that even level of blood sugar, what's happening is that that glucose is slowly being released into the bloodstream. So you are getting a sustained release of energy that goes into your body. So if you always have a little bit of energy coming your way, you're going to feel more content, which means less snacking in between because you're not going to get that signal that you're hungry. Now, protein does something very similar. So we can get protein from two different sources: animal-based protein and plant-based protein. Plant-based proteins are things like nuts and seeds, legumes, which are lentils or chickpeas, black beans. We also can get protein from animal sources such as chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, beef, pork. Now, protein from animal based sources, we absorb it really easily. And then we can also get some from our plant based sources, which means it also has fiber in it. Now, protein is used for all different things in the body, but most importantly, it's used for growth and regeneration. So, what that means is that our cells die and we make new cells, but we need protein. We need protein to make digestive enzymes, to grow hair, tissues, nails, our muscles after we work out. And so we need to make sure we're getting good amounts of protein. I would say for a female, about 90 grams of protein per day is sufficient. And for a man, I would say about 110 grams per day is a perfect amount. Fiber, we need about 30 grams of 30 grams of fiber per day. You can have up to 50 grams, but as we increase our fiber intake, we also need to make sure that we are properly hydrating. So make sure to drink at least 32 ounces of water per day with that high fiber diet. Again, fiber and protein together in the diet is going to make you feel satisfied, full, content, less snacking throughout the day. Here is my secret sauce recipe for a perfect diet. I like to have at least 6 to 8 ounces of protein for each meal and 2 cups of vegetables. So, lunch and dinner, we can do a big salad with some protein in it, So salad with grilled chicken, for example. For dinner, we can do whatever protein you want. It could be fish, it could be beef, it could be pork, and then 2 nice big heaping cups of vegetables. Again, you can roast them, you can grill them, you can put them in a salad. It's really flexible. You can make that decision as long as you have some protein and you have some vegetables. For breakfast, I love to do a high protein smoothie, scrambled eggs, cottage cheese, and fruit. I like to have a lot more of my nuts and seeds in the morning. So if I'm going to have oatmeal, I'll add some pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, all kinds of stuff to really add that protein, but also give me good, healthy fat. And you might notice I don't have fat listed here because if you're eating a high protein diet, and you're also eating high fiber, you're going to get great sources of healthy fats. And so we don't really need to concentrate on one more food group. All right, let's move on. Do we need to prioritize protein? You may be seeing this all over social media right now. Here's my take on it. Protein is important. I just mentioned why, but so is fiber, so is fat, so are carbohydrates. So rather than focusing on one food group, focus on all of them. So we need to prioritize foods that are in their natural state. So here is my recommendation. If it lives on a shelf in a grocery store for a year, like Twinkies or something like that, avoid it. Shop the perimeter. Make sure your diet is filled with foods that are in its natural state. So when I say shop the perimeter, I mean the perimeter of the grocery store. Go to the produce section, go to the meat section, go to the dairy section, and make sure you have a good, healthy balance. We want to make sure we're having good sources of protein from plant and animal-based sources, healthy fats that are found in those foods. It's in all of our plant-based oils like olive oil, avocado oil, nuts, seeds, olives. Load it up in your diet, enjoy it, and make sure we have enough fiber. Now, one thing I want to mention for you to do right now, because I'm assuming that you are changing your diet right now. So rather than eliminating and removing foods from your diet, which often happens, someone starts a diet and they're like, you can't eat X, Y, and Z. I'm not telling you that. What I want you to do, instead of taking things out of your diet, I want you to consider what can you add to your diet to make it healthier. And this is a challenge that I'm going to have you do. I want you to embrace plant diversity by consuming 30 different plant-based foods every single week. Okay, that might sound like a lot, but let's start with Monday morning breakfast. You're going to have oatmeal. You're going to add some almond milk to it. You're going to add some strawberries, a half a banana, some chia seeds, and pumpkin seeds. You have 6 things already, and it's just the very first breakfast on Monday. Now we're going to shift to lunch. So for lunch, you're going to make a salad. So we've got mixed greens, and you're going to add some grilled chicken for protein in there, but we're also going to have half of an avocado, some mushrooms, some roasted red peppers, olive oil, and we're going to add some sunflower seeds. Wow, we're already at 12. So as you can see, it is so easy to add up these plant-based foods throughout the week. So if you are aiming for 30 different plant-based foods, you're going to get a good source of fiber. Make sure to add some good healthy sources of protein, and you're all set. Make it super simple. Don't complicate nutrition. When we overcomplicate nutrition, that's when we give up on following whatever meal plan it is that you're trying to follow. So keep it simple, keep it fun, and enjoy it. You don't have to get rid of the foods you love. If pizza is your thing, but you typically eat 3 or 4 slices of pizza when you sit down and you order a pie, okay, I get it. But why don't we instead have 2 slices and add a side salad or some roasted vegetables? Because don't forget, those vegetables are going to fill you up because it has fiber. So you won't have to eat as much pizza, but guess what? You still get to enjoy the pizza. So it's a win-win situation. Don't omit, just focus on what you can add. Later on, we can work on getting rid of some things from the diet. Let's shift to movement. How can we make movement so irresistible we want to do it every day? Easy. Find something that you absolutely love. You don't have to go to the gym. Here's a little secret. I actually hate going to the gym. I don't like being in a crowded weight room with the weight slamming and people sweating all over the equipment. I want to go and do something fun that I love. And so I want you to do the same thing. Find what you love. So let's first talk about the benefits of movement. So, improved quality of sleep and duration of sleep. It helps with weight maintenance. It puts you in a better mood and it can reduce symptoms of depression, also anxiety. It also increases your energy level. So, how does this impact your health? Well, it helps to manage blood glucose and insulin levels. It improves your quality of life and it improves your mental health. And when you sleep good at night, you have less food cravings because of a shift in our hormones. But that's another webinar for another day. But we also need to make sure that we are moving. So, for a lot of people, when they start an exercise regimen, they think they have to lift weights or go to a yoga class or do some sort of extreme activity. You don't have to, you just need to move. So, it could be anything from dance, yoga, it can be going to the gym because weight bearing activity, especially as we are entering the next phase of our life, 40 and older, we want to make sure we're maintaining lean muscle mass. But again, just make sure that we're moving. And that's what I want you to start with. So here are some things that people find challenging, or these are challenges that people have so that interferes with being able to work out. So for example, you might have a lack of time. You might have physical limitations and pain. You might have low energy levels. I'm sure we can all relate to that. Or you're not seeing the results fast enough. These are all common obstacles that make it challenging for us to stick to a physical activity regimen. So, I want to give you some options if you are facing any of these challenges. So, for example, if you have lack of time, I want you to try some exercise snacks. And yes, that's exactly what I said. Exercise snacks. These are short bursts of movements throughout the day that add up and don't require a dedicated workout time. So, for example, you can take 5 to 10 minutes and do the following things. You're going to do air squats for 1 minute. You're going to do push ups for 1 minute. You're going to do plank. You're going to hold plank for 30 seconds. And then you're going to do as many jumping jacks as you can in 1 minute. You repeat this 2 to 3 times, and within 10 to 15 minutes, you have a fantastic workout that has not taken up a lot of your day, but you have gotten in a lot of movements, upper and lower body movement. Now, if pain or any kind of physical limitations are your obstacle, then look at how you can do some low impact options. So, for example, do a chair workout or pull exercise. These workouts reduce joint strain while improving strength and mobility. So, as you continue to do this, you will get stronger and you can try other things because I know it hurts to exercise when you have pain, but if you do the right type of exercise, it can help alleviate some of that pain. Now, what about lack of motivation, which I know a lot of us deal with? So, if you have a lack of motivation, make it social, right? When you are in a social setting, like going to a group class or going to a running group, a running or walking group, I should say, maybe you're doing a dance class or you're taking a yoga class, exercising with others makes it more fun and it holds you accountable. I'm going to give you a little secret that I do. I love to go to yoga in the morning because when I practice yoga in the morning, I feel better throughout the day because I sit in this chair a lot. So the yoga classes are early in the morning. So I go onto my app and I have to schedule my yoga class. I have to book my spot. And so I always book the 7 a.m. class. Now, I have a membership, so I can go as often as I want. But if I cancel, I have to cancel at least 2 hours before the start of class. Otherwise, they charge me $25. I get up at 6 a.m. So if I want to cancel that 7 a.m. yoga class, I'm SOL. And I'm going to have to pay $25 if I cancel or I don't show up. So at 6 o'clock, when I get up, I have to get myself out of bed and I have to go to that yoga studio. It keeps me accountable. And I am grateful every single day that I get up and do that yoga class. So give it a try. Now, if low energy is your thing, take movement breaks. Walking is fantastic. As you're listening to me speaking to you, you could be walking around listening to it. Walking is an underrated exercise that we do not do enough. Get up in the morning, go for a 15-minute walk. At the end of your day, after you eat, go for a walk. It gets your movement, but it also helps improve digestion. So find anything, any point in your day, if you sit through a lot of meetings, just to get up and move. All right, my last pillar is go. And this one is so easy because if you eat a high fiber diet and you're moving, you're automatically going to go. And yes, I mean pooping. We need to optimize digestive health. And by doing this, we're going to promote a healthy gut microbiome, and movement from exercise improves intestinal motility, and that high fiber diet is going to enhance bowel regularity. So, why is a good, healthy gut microbiome important? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One is that our brain and our gut communicates. It's known as the gut brain axis. So, for example, if you see food, your brain is going to send a signal to your stomach that, hey, I'm triggering the appetite, food's coming, go ahead and start releasing those digestive enzymes. It prepares the gastrointestinal tract for digestion. Now, when you've had enough food, the gut tells the brain, hey, turn off that appetite, we had enough. And so the gut and the brain communicate. When our gut microbiome is inflamed, like this picture right here, what happens is that crosstalk between the gut and the brain is diminished. And so we don't necessarily hear those signals and we can overeat. So we want to make sure that we're having this high fiber diet because one, that reduces inflammation in the gut. And when we have movement, when we are exercising and eating healthy, you feel good. And when you feel good, you're more likely to continue to do that. And so we want to make sure that we are working on these three pillars, however those three pillars fit in your life. However, whichever food you want to add to your diet, such as those high fiber foods or the high protein foods. You get to choose them. I'm not telling you what to eat. I'm just giving you those guidelines. But as long as you get those foods in you and you have movement, you are going to enhance your gut microbiome. Now, one of the things with the gut microbiome is it enhances our immune system. So if you have a good, healthy colony of bacteria that resides in your gut, it is going to support your immune system and decrease the risk of chronic diseases. On the flip side, if you choose to eat a crappy diet, you're going to have a gut microbiome with bacteria that is crappy. And that crappy bacteria is going to decrease your immunity and it makes you more susceptible to different chronic diseases, such as lupus, leaky gut, irritable bowel syndrome. And so we want to support our gut. And a lot of times when we have so, for example, Hashimoto's is something that I see so often. I see a lot of individuals coming to me with autoimmune disorders like osteoarthritis, lupus, fibromyalgia. I just mentioned Hashimoto's. I'm seeing a lot of inflammatory bowel disorders. And here's the thing, if I can clean the gut through the diet, through the two pillars, the first two pillars of health, we're going to go ahead and fix that third pillar of health. It will automatically happen through food and through exercise. It's that easy. I know it's not easy, but it is easy and you can do it. So here are the implementation strategies that you're going to start. So you're going to eat, rather than eliminating foods, I want you to look at what you can add to your diet to enhance it and make it healthier. Don't be afraid to introduce new foods and aim for those 30 plant-based foods per week and good sources of protein at each meal. I want you to move, schedule daily movements, put it in your calendar. Grab your phone and schedule movement and don't cancel your appointment that you made with yourself. Move every day, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, just get things moving. You also want to go. So making sure that when you're consuming a higher fiber diet, make sure to increase your water consumption. It is very important. Otherwise, you'll get constipated and you'll be really mad at me. And you'll feel a little bit bloated. So make sure you're increasing water. And you know what? We all need to hydrate anyways. And stick to regular meal times. Our body loves consistency. So when you eat meals at the same time each day, you're going to poop at the same time each day. Same thing goes with sleeping. If you go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on the weekends, you're going to sleep better at night. Now, the last thing I want you to do is be a little patient with yourself. We do not gain weight overnight. We do not lose weight overnight either. So if you are here listening to this because you have gained 30 pounds and you're like, what the heck, I need to lose this weight, I want you to think there were a lot of different factors that came into play that resulted in you gaining weight. So think about, when did you start gaining weight? Was it 20 years ago when you had your first child? And then 3 years later when you went back to work as a full-time parent? Maybe it was during a time when you were a caregiver for an ailing parent. Maybe it was when you welcomed your second child. So over time, there are things that get in the way with life. It gets in the way of eating healthy and exercising and sleeping. I get it. We're all there. But now you're at a point in your life where you can change things up and you can make you a priority, but you have to be patient with yourself because nothing is going to happen overnight. And the more consistency that you have, meaning the more consistently that you eat fiber and protein, and if you are consistently exercising every day and going to bed at the same time every night, the more consistent you are with your routine, the faster you will see progress. And that's what we all want. We immediate results don't exist, but we do want to see results. And the more consistent you are, the faster you will see those results. And so I want to leave you with a couple of questions. First one is, what is one important goal that you have for the next 6 to 12 months? What is one goal that you would love to achieve in the next 6 to 12 months? And then I want you to answer this question. If you achieved this goal, what would it do for your life? If you lost those 30 pounds, what would happen? What would your life look like? And I want you to think of that puzzle piece. Your picture, so you have all of these puzzle pieces sitting in your hand. I gave you a lot of tools. You have other tools that you have gained over the years. You have all these puzzle pieces, but that picture is you in 6 to 12 months from now, that goal that you achieved. And I want you to put those pieces together. And I want to be able to help you put those pieces together. So if you can start today with this information, go to it. But if you feel like you need a little bit more support, a little bit more hand-holding, a little bit more community, I want you to consider the About Time to Live Well community. So I developed this because when I see a client that comes to me for an initial consultation and usually 1 or 2 follow-ups, I give them a lot of puzzle pieces and then they have to go and figure out how to put them together. What I've noticed with my clients is that they do better when they consistently come to see me, but that is expensive. And so I developed the About Time community because I want to make my clients accountable. I want to be there for them for the next 6 to 12 months. And I want to do that for you as well. So the About Time to Live Well community is a tailored nutrition plan that provides energy, promotes longevity, and strengthens your body with simple and effective strategies to fit healthy eating and exercise into your busy schedule. I make wellness achievable, and I do this by providing a community. And so for this community to exist, let me tell you what's in the community. So for this community, my members that have joined, they get a personal nutrition plan. Now, I give different options. You get to pick which plan works for you, whether it be mindful eating or maybe it's counting calories. I give you a private community. So it's similar to a social media community like Facebook and Instagram, but instead it's a private community with other individuals that have similar goals that can support you and work with you to help you achieve your goal, and you can help others achieve their goals as well. I offer monthly coaching calls, very similar to this, where we pick a nutrition strategy and I'm going to teach you the strategies. And then we have 2 to 3 live Q&A sessions where after you start implementing your strategy, I'm there to help you overcome obstacles, cheer you on, or just continue this road to success. I also provide weekly meal plans along with recipes. And these aren't, this is what you have to eat. They are options and ideas so that if you get stuck, you have a list of foods that you can choose from along with recipes. And then if you join the annual membership, there are VIP access to early trainings, podcasts, things like that, but also discounts if you want to purchase supplements or if you want to do one-on-one nutrition coaching. So the plan, the About Time to Live Well subscription, and again, this is optional. You can continue with my emails, with the information I give. You can follow me on social media. There's a lot of great information that you can continue to follow for free. And if that's what you need to do, by all means, do it. But if you need that little extra support, this is what these fees are. So for the month, if you want to go monthly, it's $49 a month, and you get the personalized nutrition plan, the coaching call, the recipes, the live Q&A. You get access to a registered dietitian with a PhD at least 3 times a month. For an entire year, or as long as you continue the service. Now, if you do it annually, you get 20% off the monthly fee, and then you get additional discounts. So because you are listening to this webinar, I want you to have an opportunity to try the About Time to Live Well subscription. So you can try it out for 7 days for $1. Now, the reason why I charge you $1 is because if you pay for something, you are more likely to do it. And I really want you to try it because I really want you to succeed. And I want to be your cheerleader. I want to cheer you on along the way. I want to be there to give you those pieces and for you to figure out how to put that puzzle piece together so that you can see your outcome happen and come to fruition at the end of that timeline. And that timeline is going to be whichever one you establish. So try it out for 7 days. If it's not for you, you send me an email and cancel your subscription. If it's for you, then you'll go ahead and be enrolled in the annual subscription. Now, again, you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook, or you can utilize my website. I have a ton of free resources available for you. I have a mindful eating guide, a sleep journal guide. There's all kinds of stuff there. You can listen to the podcast. You do you, but I'm here to support you however it works for you. Thank you so much for joining this call today. And I look forward to seeing you in the About Time to Live Well group. If not, I will see you in the email list. Bye. Have a great day.